computer. Okay, recording. All right.
We all heard each other. We just didn't hear you, Karen.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let's get
That's
back.
okay.
Get back to the screen share. Okay, so talking about the importance of customer service. I always say that we don't want our shows, whether they're virtual or live, to be a series of one-night stands, right? Nobody likes a one-night stand. That's not nice. We want to develop a relationship with our customers, so we're not just selling to them one. We want to build a loyal customer base. Our customers are our greatest asset in this business. We want to build a customer base for a steady stream of sales, booking leads, and recruiting leads. Okay, and one good customer service experience can really make the difference between, is this someone who's just going to buy from us once, or someone who, when they hear the words Pampered Chef, are going to say, oh my goodness, if you need something from Chef, you have got to talk to, and hopefully fill in our name. Okay, so while it's of course important to consistently add new customers to our list, we want to make sure we've already done the hard work with our existing customers to create them. We want to make sure we're taking time to provide ongoing service to them so that they will be our loyal customers and we will have a healthy business. So what we're going to be talking about today is the 222 method for customer service. Raise your hand if you've ever heard about the 222 method. Okay, see a couple of hands going up. Okay. All right, so the first two means within 2 days. There are things that we do within 2 days of the party to, reach out to customers, to encourage them, to meet their needs and their future needs. So we're not just going to see them once at a show. Okay, we can send out an email within 24 hours of the party. By the way, there's a little background noise or static, so if you haven't muted, if you can do so to cut back on that, that would be great. Okay, so within 2 days, some of your options include sending out an email to everybody who attended the party. Okay, you can have a standard email, change a few words here and there and send that out, and I will give you an example of that. Basically this email, thank you for coming to the party, reminds them how much fun they had. You can remind them about when the party is closing, if they'd like to place an additional order, change the order, add to their order. You can remind them of the host bonus. And if they, let them know if they get in touch with you before the party closes that this host can still get the booking. And you can even plant seeds about the business opportunity. You can also, in that email or as a separate thing, you can invite them to join your Facebook group. How many of you have a Facebook group for your customers or a separate page on Facebook for your customers? I hope you do. If you don't have one yet, make it a point to create one of those in the next week or so. Because on your Facebook group, you can be posting recipes a few times a month, upcoming specials, alerts for when the outlet is updated, and of course, any specials we've got going on, whether it's for placing an order over $75 and getting a free item or booking specials, including specials. It's a great way to keep your customers up to date on all things Pampered Chef. Plus, on your Facebook group or page, you can personalize it a little bit. Okay, rather than it being a formal email that goes out to people, you can have pictures of you in your kitchen. It personalizes it so you're not just some Pampered Chef person, but you're like a friend of theirs, someone that they feel like they know a little bit better. Okay, so that's within 2 days of the show. Okay, so let's talk about the next, actually what you can say in that email. I'm going to be cutting and pasting this onto the group. That we've got the 6 weeks of success for week 5. So it just gives you an example of an email that you could send out. I'm not going to read it all to you because you guys can read it, but basically it thanks them for coming. You can put links in here for the guest special and the host special, and notice, it says if you want to be up to date on all things Pampered Chef, there's a link there that you can put in for your Facebook or whatever. You could also put something in there about if they would like an email from you to be on your through customer care connection. Okay. And this is something that doesn't need to take a lot of time because you make a template and you just, change up, the name of the host and the specials, and then you can send it out after every party. Anybody already doing that? Okay. Couple hands went up. All right. Or you can do this as a phone call. So let's say there was someone at the party that you really, really wanted to connect with. Someone placed an order, but they had to leave the party early. And so you never really got to talk to them at the full service checkout. Or maybe they placed an outside order, gave you a piece of paper and said this was someone from work who couldn't come to the party. Maybe instead of just sending an email, maybe those are the people you'd like to call and reach out to. And you're saying basically the same thing. Hi, this is Karen Batty with Pampered Chef. Instead of saying, "Oh, thank you for coming," although if this was someone who had to be really, "Hey, I want to thank you so much for coming to Elaine's party the other night. It was so much fun to meet you." I always find when we put a room full of fabulous people in food, you just can't go wrong, right? I so can't wait till the next party. And you had to leave before I got to ask you, hey, is the party going to be at your place next time? Seriously, though, if you're interested in having some friends over, not only would it be a great time, but you get some amazing host rewards. And I can make sure that Elaine gets credit for your booking, which would mean an extra half price item for her. You could ask if you're talking to them live and not just leaving a voice message. You could say, and by the way, do you want to hear about some theme shows that I'm offering for my host in February? Okay. I try never to say, book a party. I try never to say, do you want to book a party? Okay, because book a party sounds like plan a wedding. Sounds like the closet. It just doesn't sound fun. It just sounds like work, right? So I always say, what do you think about getting some friends together on a night that works for you? And you get some free product. Hey, Courtney, can I have you mute, please? There's some background noise that I think might be coming from your place. Thanks. Okay. So if someone if I'm talking to someone not jumping right away to, yeah, I want to have a party, I ask them, would you like to hear about some themes I'm offering? Because when we're calling them to talk to them and we bring up the subject of a booking, it's kind of out of the blue to them. And I find people need to kind of have the idea kind of settle in for a moment. So I find if I say, would you like to hear the themes that I'm offering for February? They'll often say, okay. So they just heard a little bit about a special, maybe about the Rock deal, and now you're saying, oh, well, in honor of Valentine's Day and the fact that February is National Chocolate Month, we could do a Death by Chocolate party, or maybe a healthy in a hurry party for your friends who might be trying to cook healthy. Or if you live up here in New Hampshire, how about a Beat the Cabin Fever blues party, because it is so cold and there is no sign of spring yet. And then based on that, you could say, what do you think your friends might enjoy? Okay, so this is kind of an easier way for them to wrap their brain around having a party. Because I think if people answer too quickly before they're ready to say yes, then their answer is going to be no. But if we give them time to kind of warm up to the idea by giving some theme shows options, sometimes that's helpful. Okay, so those are some things that you can make habits for 2 days after every party. Now, guys, if you have never done this before, don't think that all of a sudden you're going to remember to do this. If you're like me, you'll need to put it on your to-do list or put it in your calendar. Put a reminder in there. When you schedule a party, you got a party coming up, put a reminder 1 to 2 days after that party when you think you've got some time to say, hey, do those 2-day calls or do that 2-day email. Okay? Because believe me, the cumulative effect of doing this over time will definitely mean additional sales for you, additional bookings, and additional recruit leads. All right, so that's the first 2. The second 2 is 2 weeks after the show. The goal at this point is to check up on people and, see how they're enjoying their products, okay? Customer care calls are to be focused on the customer and on their needs, not our desire for an additional booking, okay? But know that you'll probably stumble onto some people who would like to have a party, and that's good, but make your main focus be the needs of that customer. I call the 2 week after calls out-of-the-box calls. And if you want to make sure you do these, talk about them at your shows. You know, when you're wrapping up, either at the full service checkout or when you're talking to the crowd at the end, wrapping things up, let them know, hey, by the way, you know, I try to reach out to everybody a couple weeks after the party to make sure you receive their products and make sure you've taken them out of the box, because I find a lot of people don't take them out of the box very quickly. So I say, so don't be surprised if you get a call from me, and I call it my out of the box call to make sure you're taking your products out of the box. I even have my customers, I say, okay, everybody raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear, and they repeat, I do solemnly swear. When I get my products, I will open them up right away. And they laugh, but they repeat after me. And I say, and then I will try them right away. And they laugh. And then I say, and if I don't love them, I will call you right away. Okay. But I tell them, be on the lookout for that out of the box call. So now when they get that call from me, they're not afraid to answer. Okay. They know why I'm calling. They're calling to see if they took their products out of the box. Okay. And again, you can probably tell by my personality, I'm not a super serious person. So I like my shows to be fun. So I don't want to get all serious and formal with the follow-up either. So give it a fun name, like an out of the box call. So that when their phone rings and they see Pampered Chef, they're like, oh, there's that fun lady I met a couple of weeks ago. She's probably calling to see if I took that product out of the box. And now they're thinking, oh, I haven't. But they're not afraid to answer the phone. Mm-hmm. So these are some words that you can say in an out-of-the-box call. Now, this outline wasn't made by me, so this might not be exactly how I would say it. You can tweak it to make it sound more like you, okay? But basically, it's this. You can do it as an email, or you could tweak it slightly, you know, as a phone call. Again, I will be posting these words on the group there, so don't feel like you've got to write it all down. Basically, you're saying, hi, I'm just checking in to see if how you're enjoying your large bar pan. Have you gotten it out of the box yet? You know, please find test some great recipes to try out on it. My personal favorite is the sliders. And then you can mention something about the February specials. February is such an exciting time to have some friends over for Death by Chocolate or Soup and Slippers party, because hosts in February get any rock of their choice at 60% off. Doesn't that sound great? Throw in a few dates that you've got available. And notice I put, what do you think? Okay, I didn't say, do you want to do it? I said, what do you think? Because if you say to someone, so do you want to host a party? The answer is either yes or no, and most of the time it's no. But when you say, what do you think? It's an open-ended question. Now, hopefully, they'll tell you what you think. Well, I'd love to, but you know, if they have a hesitation, they might share it with you, and then you have an opportunity to offer them a solution. You can also remind them, don't forget, you have 30 days from when you receive that order to refund or exchange your products for free. If they do so within the first 30 days, we're going to send them a prepaid postage label. Okay, so this is a really good reason why you want to follow up with 2 weeks. So that way they've got time to try out their products. And if for whatever reason they're not in love with it, we don't want them to be stuck with it. We want to get that exchange done. Okay, so it can be done as an email, or it could be done as a phone call. And basically, you're saying the same thing. So when I do these kind of calls, I'm starting with checking on what they purchased. I bring their order up so I know what they ordered. Hey, it's Karen Batty with the Pampered Chef. Remember me? We met at Elaine's party. Hey, I'm just doing my out-of-the-box call. Remember, you raised your hand and you swore over on your mother's grave that you would take those products out of the box. Have you taken your bar pan out yet? Because if not, you can do it now and still not let your mother down or whatever. So, you know, they can take it out of the box, and I'll ask them, have you used it yet? If they haven't, I might say, what are you planning on making for dinner or in the next week or so? What are some meals you've got planned? Based on what they tell me, I might make a suggestion. Oh, you could do that on your bar pan. Or you could, when you make that meal, you could also serve this, and you could do that on your bar pan. Okay? And then if they haven't used their products, I say, can I call you back in a week just to see how it went? Because really, if you don't love this product and you're not going to use it, I don't want you to be stuck with it. And they usually say, okay, and I might make a note to give them a call back. And then I might, if now 2 weeks later we've got different specials going on, I might say, and hey, while I have you on the phone, do you want to hear about our current specials that we're offering? I ask them permission before I just spewing information at them. Would you like to hear about the current specials? Sure, I'd love to. So then I tell them, hey, I don't know if you're even slightly curious, but we've got a great bonus for people who decide to give this business a try. And what I mean by try is, you know, you have a few parties with your family and friends to see if you like it. And this month you can get extra $200 in free products of your choice. Is that something you'd be curious about learning more about? Notice I'm not asking them, do you want to sign up, get married, have babies, put them through college? No, just asking them if they're curious and want to learn more about that. If they say no, not really, okay, well, one of the other specials we've got going on is we've got a whole new slew of products that you can get for free with a $75 order. Would you like me to email you that list? Was there anything you didn't order at Elaine's party that now that you've had a couple more paychecks, you're ready to place that next order? Or actually before that, I tell them about the host bonus. Is that something you'd like to take advantage of? Now, do you guys think if you do this on a regular basis for 5 to 10 minutes a day, you're calling a few of your past customers, do you not think some of them might join your team? That some of them might schedule parties and that some of them might place additional orders?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. If you call 2 of them, is that likely to happen? And then stop making calls? Because, yeah, no, it's one of those things you want to do consistently over time. And what I find is, you know, I'll be really, really honest. I don't have time to call everybody. I don't. I do what I can. I don't let, you know, perfect be the enemy of good. I do what I can. But even when people say no thank you to all the things I offer them, do you know what I hear a lot of?
Thank you for calling.
Yes, it with a little bit of shock, but you know what? You know, I'm all set for now, but wow, thank you so much for calling. You know, I've been going to Pampered Chef Pampered Chef parties for 15 years. Nobody's ever called me after the purchase. So thank you. Now, when that person all of a sudden 6 months down the road, you know, someone at work says, "Oh, I was thinking about having a Pampered Chef party. Anybody know anyone?" What do you think that person is more likely to recommend?
You.
Me.
Yep.
Me, because they're like, you know what? I had this one. She like followed up to make sure I like the products. You know what? Let me look back. She sent me an email after the party. Let me look back and find out her name and contact information for you. Okay, so at the very least, you're building customer loyalty. But let me tell you, you will get bookings and additional orders from this. If you're doing this regularly, you will get those things regularly. Okay. And then you can reach out again a couple months after the show. Let's face it, if it doesn't happen 2 months exactly, it's okay. We just call it 2 because it goes better than 223. We call it 222. But this is just a few months later. Hey, this is Karen Batty with the Pampered Chef. I was just touching base to make sure your bar pan is still holding up well and that you're enjoying it. Or, you know, making sure all your products are still holding up well and you're still enjoying them. And then seeing if they have any needs at that point. Are there products that haven't held up? Are there any questions that they have? You know, focusing all on them. And then, hey, by the way, while I have you on the phone, would you like to hear about the current specials we're offering? Or you can invite them to a product unveiling if the season is right for that. Or you could let them know about a new product catalog that's coming out. Things like that. Whatever is sort of newsworthy at the time that you're calling them. There's always something to share that you can offer information about. Okay? It just, again, separates you from, you know, when they go to a store and buy something, that's all they get is what they bought at the store. Okay? They rarely have people following up with them. And again, focusing on their needs, not ours. Our needs will be met when we focus on meeting the needs of others, right? If we follow up with enough people, enough of them will want to make additional purchases. Enough of them will want to have parties. Enough of them will either want to join our team or know someone who does. Okay. So again, here's the words to say, and I will be posting these on the website for you guys. Other things when you're following up a couple months later, you know, if they ordered some seasonings, maybe they need to reorder some. You know, maybe they're running out. Maybe they, you know, see if they've got any weddings or graduations coming up that they might need gift items for. See if there's anything that you can cross-sell. I'm sure you can call some people who ordered the Rock Rock to tell them about the new, I'm not telling. You have to wait till tomorrow to find out about the new thing. But you know what? Did you think I was going to spill the beans? Yeah, so, you know, see if there's a complimentary piece. If they ordered one piece of stoneware, they ordered a bar pan, you know, and at 2 months, they are absolutely loving this bar pan. Maybe they want to get a 9x13 baker so that more of the things that they bake can go in on a stone. If they ordered one rock, maybe they want a companion piece. You know, if they ordered one piece of cutlery, maybe they want to add to their collection. Okay, so you can be, you know, finding out what their needs are. Maybe something that they wanted in the past is on sale. Okay, all of these things are things that you can be bringing up during those 2-month calls. And I find I leave it pretty organic. I open up every conversation pretty much the same, but I see where it leads. And like I said, my goal is to meet the needs of that customer. Okay, so again, don't freak out. This isn't scary. It's just a conversation. All right. And so we're still working on the skills. So this is the skill of customer care. And skills are a major component of success. The more you tweak your skills, the more you practice, the more you learn. Okay, and this will, and this is true not just for customer care, but selling, host coaching, booking, recruiting. Okay, the bigger your skill, the bigger your paycheck. Practice makes perfect. So if you're forgetting to make those changes to your host coaching, or you're afraid you're going to forget to do the customer care, or, you know, whatever it is, schedule it. Okay, schedule it so you don't slide back and get into autopilot and do things the way you've always done them. If you do things the way you've always done them, you will get what you've always gotten. And if that wasn't doing it in the past, it's not going to do it in the future. You need to change what you're doing. Okay, so skills for this, make sure you check within 2 days with every single guest. All right, and again, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. If you don't have enough time to get in touch with every single guest within 2 days, and remember that can mean email, you know, try to do it on day 1 or day 3. Check with your guests within 2 weeks, and then the 2 months. Okay, watch and listen to home office trainings, come to your sales meetings, new consultant training, recipe nights. Go to conference. Who's already going to conference? You know you're going. Raise your hand. Yay! Awesome. Listen to the, actually, I heard that the tips from the top have ended, but the tools of the trade are still going on Wednesdays. All right? Be a student of the business. Skills are easily taught and easily caught. All right? So any questions?
When you do your emails, Karen, do you do that through Consultant Corner, or do you just do it group?
I'm an old dog, and you know I have it saved as a document, so I tend to just do it that way. Because if you go through Customer Connection, you have to like click on just the right names, you know, to send it to the people at that party. So when it's after the show kind of thing, I just do it from my email.
Okay.
Good question.
Where do you find the tools of the trade Wednesday nights?
The tools of the trade. Your director, Joanne, that should be posted. Links, it's via Zoom. It should be posted on whatever team group that she's got set up. They are not on the first Wednesday of each month because those used to be tips from the top, but I just found out like a couple of days ago they're not doing those anymore. But we've got tools of the trade calls on the 2nd through the end of the month. Every single Wednesday for half an hour, different topics each time.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ready for your homework? So committing to the connecting with your customers, day 2, week 2, 2 months, the 2-2-2. And committing to help. By the way, this spells out chef. So C is connect. Connect the 2-2-2, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. H, help. Okay, focus on helping your guests. All right, share recipes, give ideas. E, expand the possibilities. You know, would you like to hear about the current specials we're offering? Would you like to hear what theme shows we're offering? Sharing upcoming specials, open dates, referrals for shows, referrals for the business. F stands for future contact. Follow back up. You know, find out what's on their wish list. Is there anything you'd like me to get back in touch with you that goes on special? Okay, and then put that in your calendar and make sure you do that for the future contact. If they're not using their stone and you gave them an idea or promised to send them a recipe, do the follow-up and then reach back out to say, how did that go? Okay, and then you're going to watch this video that is here that I will be posting on that group. All right. Then you're going to be answering the following questions when you talk with your director. You know, you're going to email these this response to your director, how many shows that you're committing to booking during this week, and how many host coaching calls we're going to make. Make sure to set up a call to follow up with your director. Update us on how many leads. Okay. And then what you got from your customer care calls, any lead bookings, sales. Share if you've got any struggles, and give us a brag too, because we love to cheer people on when things are going right. All right. So thank you guys again for being here on Super Bowl Sunday. I know there's other places you could be, including in your kitchen making your wings, but you're here, so that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording here.